Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing something a little different today. Today we're going deep on Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Big name.
the author who kind of like shook up the world of personal finance with his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Oh, yeah. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Huge.
It really made everyone rethink the whole, go to school, get a good job, buy a house plan.
Right.
Which a lot of us, we were raised with that.
Yeah, totally. And we're not even stopping at Rich Dad, Poor Dad today.
Oh.
We've got a stack of his books here. We're going to look at the business of the 21st century.
Oh, wow.
Prophecy and unfair advantage.
Okay, so like a full-on deep dive.
Yeah, really get a sense of his whole perspective on wealth building.
For those who maybe haven't read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it introduces this idea of like two contrasting mindsets when it comes to money.
Absolutely.
And it's represented by these two father figures.
Yeah.
His own father, the poor dad, highly educated but struggling financially. And then his friend's dad, the rich dad, a self-made entrepreneur with a very different approach.
Yeah, and that's why the book is called Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Exactly.
Because he's really contrasting these two.
And he argues that like the traditional education system kind of sets us up to be employees.
Totally.
Not entrepreneurs or investors.
Dirty workers.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And he highlights this story from his childhood where at 9 years old, he started working for his rich dad.
Oh, wow.
For free.
For free. That's wild.
I know. I definitely would want an allowance.
I would have been asking for some cash.
At least a little something.
Yes. But Rich Dad had a plan.
Oh, he had a master plan.
He wanted to teach young Robert that, like, financial education was the most valuable thing.
Interesting.
More valuable than an immediate paycheck.
Okay, so it's like learning the rules of the game.
Yes.
Before you start playing.
Learn how to play the game.
Got it.
And then get in there.
Okay.
That was his whole philosophy.
And from this experience, he developed this belief, like, the rich don't work for money.
They don't.
Money works for them.
Money works for them.
Now, that's a bold statement.
It is bold.
How can money work for you if you're not working for it?
Right. Well, he's all about building assets. Things that put money in your pocket even while you sleep.
Interesting.
So rental properties, businesses that generate income, investments that pay dividends.
Okay.
This is where his famous cash flow quadrant comes in.
Okay, let's break down this cash flow quadrant.
All right.
I'm intrigued.
So he divides it into 4 quadrants.
Okay.
E for employee.
Okay.
S for self-employed or small business owner.
Got it.
B for business owner.
Okay.
And I for investor.
Okay, I like it.
And he argues that those on the left, the E's and S's,
okay,
they often trade their time directly for money.
Which makes sense. Like most of us fall into that category.
Yeah. But he says those on the right, the B's and I's, they focus on owning systems or assets that generate income.
Interesting.
Even without their direct involvement.
So the goal is to move from the left to the right.
Yes.
To have your money work for you.
That's right.
Instead of you working for the money.
Exactly.
That's making me rethink my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
What do you think, listener? Yeah. Where do you fall on this quadrant?
Yeah, where do you want to be?
And where do you aspire to be?
That's a great question.
That's a good point.
Kiyosaki also talks about this concept of like financial intelligence. Correct. And he breaks it down into 4 areas.
Okay, I like lists.
Accounting, investing, understanding markets,
got it,
and the law.
Whoa. He believes you need to master all 4 of these.
Yeah, all 4 of these.
To be financially intelligent. That sounds like a lot.
It is a lot, but he's not saying you need to be a CPA or a lawyer.
Okay.
It's more about understanding how each area impacts your finances.
Got it.
Accounting helps you understand what the numbers on those financial statements are really telling you.
So it's not just about like looking at the bottom line, but understanding what the numbers represent.
Yeah, what are the numbers saying?
Okay.
What's the story behind the numbers?
I like it.
Investing is the art of making your money work for you.
Okay.
He says focus on generating cash flow.
Okay.
Not just hoping that things are going to go up in value.
So it's more about like finding opportunities that pay you consistently.
Yes.
Rather than just betting on something increasing in price.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then there's understanding markets.
Okay.
This is about knowing what drives economic trends.
Okay.
Whether it's real estate, the stock market, even commodities.
So like being able to spot those huge waves.
The big ones.
Before they crash.
Before they crash.
Oh man, that would be helpful.
That would be nice.
Right.
It's about knowing which way the wind is blowing.
Yeah.
And then lastly, the law.
Okay.
It's about understanding how legal structures can be used to protect your assets and minimize your tax burden.
Okay. This reminds me of something else Kiyosaki calls the biggest bully.
Taxes.
What do you mean by that?
Taxes.
Taxes are the biggest bully.
He's saying that you don't have to fear taxes.
Oh.
You need to understand them.
Oh.
He argues that the wealthy, they use their knowledge of the tax code to their advantage to legally minimize how much they pay.
So it's not about like cheating the system.
No. But
playing by the rules.
Playing by the rules, but in a smart way.
Almost like a strategy game.
It's a game.
Okay.
It's all a game. And he believes that everyone can learn to do this.
Okay.
It's all part of building your financial intelligence.
I'm already starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
But where does his book Prophecy come in?
Okay, so prophecy is where he gets a little bit into, potential future economic turmoil.
Right.
Now, he doesn't want you to panic.
Okay.
He uses this analogy of building a financial ark.
Okay.
And the foundation of that ark is financial education.
So he sees financial education as this life raft.
Yeah, like a life raft.
That can help you navigate any storm.
Any storm.
I like that.
You got to be prepared.
Okay.
You got to have the tools to weather those storms.
That's a great lead-in to those unfair advantages he talks about.
Yes.
It sounds a little rebellious, like he's uncovering some secret society rules.
He's like pulling back the curtain.
Yeah.
He's talking about things like debt and taxes, concepts that most people are taught to avoid, but that the wealthy often use to their advantage.
Debt being an advantage. That's a pretty bold statement.
It is bold.
A lot of people are taught to be very debt averse.
Right. Stay away from debt.
Yeah. How does he reconcile that?
So he's not advocating for reckless borrowing at all, but he argues that the rich understand how to use debt strategically to leverage investments and build wealth.
So taking out a loan to buy a rental property that generates cash flow could be good debt.
That's good debt.
But racking up credit card debt,
bad debt,
for unnecessary purchases is bad debt.
That's bad debt.
Okay, I see the distinction.
You got to know the difference.
Yeah.
He also emphasizes that the wealthy play by a different set of rules when it comes to taxes.
Okay. Does that mean they're doing something shady? Is this legal?
No, it's not about being unethical.
Okay.
It's about understanding the tax code and using it legally to your advantage.
So it's like knowing the loopholes.
The loopholes.
And playing the game strategically.
You got to know how to play the game.
Okay.
And Kiyosaki believes everyone should have access to this knowledge.
Okay.
It's part of leveling the playing field.
This is making me rethink a lot of my assumptions about money.
It's a whole new perspective.
What else does he consider an unfair advantage?
Well, he's a big advocate for investing in yourself.
Okay.
Constantly learning.
Yeah.
Building new skills.
Yeah.
Seeking out mentors.
So it's not just about what you know.
No.
It's who you know.
It's who you know.
Okay.
It's about tapping into that collective wisdom of others.
So surrounding yourself with people who are already doing what you want to do.
That's right.
I'm already feeling like I need to grab a notebook and start taking notes.
Yeah, there's a lot here.
But let's take a pause here and come back in part 2 to dig into how we can start using these unfair advantages.
To build our financial ark.
Exactly.
I like it.
We'll be back soon. Welcome back. We're still exploring Robert Kiyosaki's world.
Yeah.
And last time we left off on those unfair advantages.
Right.
He says can help us build our own financial arcs.
Those unfair advantages.
I'm ready to dive deeper. How about you?
Yeah, let's do it. I think one of the things that Kiyosaki emphasizes is understanding financial statements.
Okay.
Like he says, you got to be able to read a business's vital signs.
Okay. That's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah.
I guess most of us wouldn't even know where to begin with a balance sheet.
Yeah, he uses this analogy of a doctor, being able to diagnose a patient based on their vital signs.
Okay.
Similarly, a financially intelligent person can look at a balance sheet or an income statement and get a sense of the health of a company.
So it's not just about looking at the bottom line.
Not just the bottom line.
But understanding what all those numbers represent.
Yeah. What are the numbers saying?
Okay.
What's the story behind the numbers?
I like it.
Understanding things like cash flow, assets and liabilities.
Okay.
You don't need to be a professional accountant.
Okay.
But you should at least have a grasp of the basics.
I'm curious, given his emphasis on cash flow.
Yeah.
Why do you think Kiyosaki is such a big fan of real estate?
I mean, real estate is a tangible asset.
Okay.
It can generate that consistent cash flow that he's always talking about.
Right.
Plus, it can appreciate in value over time.
Okay.
And there are potential tax advantages as well.
So it ticks a lot of his boxes.
It ticks all the boxes.
But he doesn't limit himself to just real estate, does he?
No, he's all about diversification.
Okay.
He encourages exploring different asset classes.
Okay.
Like businesses, stocks, commodities, precious metals.
So like building a portfolio.
Building a portfolio.
That matches your own
risk tolerance.
Risk tolerance.
And financial goals.
So not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Even if that basket is filled with rental property.
Even if it's a nice basket.
Right.
You got to diversify.
Okay, and speaking of unfair advantages.
Yes.
This is where his view on debt gets really interesting.
Yeah.
He doesn't see all debt as bad.
It doesn't.
Which kind of goes against pretty much everything we're taught about personal finance.
Stay out of debt.
Yeah.
But he argues that the wealthy often use what he calls good debt.
Okay.
To leverage their investments.
Okay.
And grow their wealth faster.
Can you give us an example?
Yeah, sure.
Of what good debt would look like?
Imagine you buy a rental property.
Okay.
With a mortgage.
Okay.
The rent covers your mortgage payments and other expenses. And you're also building equity in the property.
Okay.
As you pay down the loan.
So you're using the bank's money.
Using the bank's money.
To build your own wealth.
That's right.
Makes sense. But I can also see how it could be easy to cross that line.
Yeah.
Into bad debt territory.
That's why he stresses financial responsibility.
Okay.
You got to understand the risks.
Yeah.
And have a solid plan before taking on any kind of debt.
Okay. So strategic debt can be an advantage.
Yes.
What about taxes?
Taxes? Yeah, he's got some strong opinions on that too.
He does? He does.
He argues that the rich play by a different set of rules when it comes to taxes.
Does he mean they're cheating the system?
No, he's talking about using legal strategies to minimize their tax burden.
Okay.
Strategies that most people earning a regular paycheck might not even know about.
So it's about understanding the tax code.
Understanding the tax code.
And making it work for you.
Making it work for you.
Not against you.
Not against you.
I can already hear some people saying that's only for the rich.
Right.
The rest of us don't have access to fancy accountants and lawyers.
He would say that this knowledge should be accessible to everyone.
Okay.
You know, there are resources available to learn about these tax strategies.
Okay.
And there are qualified tax advisors who can help people of all income levels.
Okay.
It's about being proactive.
Okay.
And taking control of your finances.
I'm starting to see a theme here.
What's that?
It's all about taking control.
Taking control.
Not just with debt and taxes, but with your time as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Kiyosaki's big on that.
He believes financial freedom is about having the flexibility to choose how you spend your time. Okay. He wants you to be free from that feeling of being chained to a job just to make ends meet.
That's a freedom that I think a lot of us crave.
I think so too.
Yeah.
He encourages building passive income streams. Income that comes in without you having to actively work for it.
So like rental income. Dividends from stock.
Dividends. Even royalties.
Royalties.
From like a book you've written.
A book? A song?
Or a song.
You've composed.
Exactly. The idea is to create a system where your money is working for you.
Okay.
Even while you're sleeping, traveling, pursuing your passions.
Now that's a powerful image.
It is.
But wouldn't building those passive income streams take a lot of upfront work and effort?
He's not promising a get-rich-quick scheme.
Okay.
He's very clear that building wealth takes work. Education, and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone.
Okay, so no shortcuts.
No shortcuts.
But that upfront effort can potentially pay off.
It can.
In the long run, with more freedom.
Freedom.
And control over your time.
That's right.
We've talked about the technical side of things.
Right.
Understanding finances, using debt strategically, navigating taxes. But Kiyosaki also places a lot of emphasis on mindset.
Oh, yeah.
He does. He believes that financial success isn't just about technical knowledge.
No.
It's also about developing the right attitudes.
Right.
And beliefs about money.
Mindset is huge.
He's not a fan of the money is the root of all evil kind of thinking, is he?
No. He thinks those kinds of beliefs can hold you back.
Okay.
He wants you to overcome fear.
Okay.
Embrace failure as a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
And cultivate a mindset of abundance.
So it's about seeing possibility instead of limitations.
Yes.
He also talks about the importance of setting clear financial goals. And having a plan to achieve them.
You got to have a plan.
So it's not just about wishing for wealth.
No.
It's about taking concrete steps.
Action to take it.
Action.
Yeah, okay.
He's a big believer in action.
So it's all starting to come together.
Yeah.
Financial education.
Yeah.
Strategic use of unfair advantages.
Right.
Building passive income streams and cultivating the right mindset. That's the recipe.
Anything else we should add to this financial toolkit?
Well, he stresses the importance of building a strong network, learning from mentors, seeking advice from those who are already successful investors, surrounding yourself with people who share your financial goals.
So it's not just about doing it all on your own. Right. It's about finding a community of like-minded people.
Like-minded people.
This reminds me of how Kiyosaki talks about financial education as an ongoing journey.
It's a journey.
It's not something you just learn once and you're done.
He compares it to a game.
Okay.
Specifically his cash flow game.
Oh, yeah, the board game.
The board game.
I've heard of that, but never actually played it.
He created the cash flow game as a fun way to practice these financial principles and learn to make smarter money decisions. In a safe environment.
So it's like a simulation.
It's a simulation.
Where you can learn from your mistakes.
Yes.
Without real-world consequences.
Yes. That's right.
That's brilliant.
It's a great tool.
It sounds way more engaging than just reading a textbook.
Yeah, for sure.
Or listening to a lecture.
He wants you to become an active player in the game of money.
Okay.
Not just a spectator on the sidelines.
I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
And I'm already feeling more empowered. Just by understanding these concepts.
That's great.
But we're not done yet, right?
No, we've got one more part to go.
We've got one more part to wrap up this deep dive into Robert Kiyosaki's work.
That's right.
Exploring even more actionable insights and strategies for building a secure and abundant financial future.
They do.
Welcome back to the final part of our Robert Kiyosaki deep dive.
Yes.
It's been quite a journey exploring his ideas about money, wealth, and financial freedom.
Lots to unpack.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the cash flow quadrant to those unfair advantages and the importance of mindset.
Absolutely.
Now it's time to kind of bring it all together and see how these pieces can fit into a plan for building a solid financial future.
For sure.
You know, one thing that's really resonated with me is how Kiyosaki emphasizes financial education as a continuous process.
Yeah, he's big on that.
It's not like you learn a few things and you're set for life.
Right.
You know?
It's about constantly adapting to changes in the market, refining your strategies as you go along.
So it's not a one-time fix.
It's not a one-time fix.
It's a lifelong pursuit.
It's a journey.
Okay.
He even compares it to playing a game.
Okay.
Specifically his cash flow game.
Right, the board game he created.
Yes.
To help people learn about money.
Yeah.
In a fun and interactive way.
He wanted to create a way for people to practice financial principles.
Okay.
Experiment with different strategies. Build their confidence. In a safe environment.
It's like a simulation.
It is a simulation.
Where you can learn from your mistakes.
Yes.
But without any real-world consequences.
Without real-world consequences.
That's brilliant.
That's a great tool.
Sounds way more engaging than reading a textbook.
It is.
Or listening to a lecture.
Yeah.
He wants you to become an active participant in the game of money.
Active.
Not just a passive observer.
Right. You got to get in the game.
Okay, so how do those unfair advantages we've been discussing fit into this game?
Well, he believes that understanding and leveraging these advantages can give you a significant edge.
Okay.
Remember, it's not about cheating or doing anything illegal.
Right.
It's about using the existing rules to your benefit.
One of the most counterintuitive advantages he talked about is using debt strategically.
Yes, he's big on that.
He argues that many people are taught to fear debt.
Right.
But the wealthy often use it as a tool.
As a tool.
To build their wealth faster.
Right, right.
Can you remind us how that works in practice?
Think back to the example of buying a rental property with a mortgage.
Okay.
You're using the bank's money, the debt, to acquire an asset that generates income.
Okay.
If the rent covers the mortgage payments and other expenses, and you're building equity in the property, that debt is working for you.
So it's not all debt that's bad.
Not all debt is bad.
It's about understanding how to use good debt to your advantage.
Good debt versus bad debt.
Okay.
And, of course, he emphasizes responsible borrowing,
careful
planning, and understanding the risks involved.
Okay. Debt makes sense as a potential advantage.
Yeah.
But how about taxes?
Taxes are tricky.
That seems like a tougher one.
It is.
To wrap our heads around.
It can be.
Kiyosaki argues that the wealthy play by a different set of rules.
Right.
when it comes to taxes.
Different set of rules.
Using legal strategies to minimize how much they pay.
Yeah, they know the ins and outs.
So it's not about evading taxes, which is illegal.
No.
But more about optimizing your tax situation within the law.
Yes, optimizing within the law.
Okay.
He believes that understanding the tax code is crucial for financial success. And it's something that everyone should learn about.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel intimidated by taxes.
Yeah.
They just hand everything over to their accountant.
Right.
And hope for the best.
He encourages people to be more proactive and take control.
Okay.
It's about seeking out qualified tax advisors who can help you develop strategies to minimize your tax liability legally and ethically.
So it's about understanding the rules of the game and using them to your advantage.
Just like those other unfair advantages.
Exactly.
Once you start to see these advantages not as loopholes for the wealthy,
right,
but as strategies available to anyone willing to learn,
okay,
it can really change your perspective on money and wealth building.
Kiyosaki also talks a lot about the importance of investing in assets.
Yes.
That generate passive income.
Passive income.
I think that's something a lot of us dream about.
Yeah, who doesn't want passive income?
Right.
He believes that building passive income streams is key to achieving true financial freedom. It's about creating a system where your money works for you, even when you're not actively working.
So instead of trading your time for money,
right,
you have your money working for you.
Exactly.
Okay.
This could be rental income from properties, dividends from stocks, royalties from creative works, or any other investment that generates income without requiring your direct involvement.
It sounds like a pretty ideal situation.
It's the dream.
How do you actually go about building those passive income streams?
It starts with financial education.
Okay.
Setting clear goals and developing a plan.
All right.
Then it's about taking consistent action,
okay,
making smart investments, and managing your money wisely.
So there's no magic formula.
No magic formula.
It takes effort and planning.
Work.
Yeah.
He's not promising any get-rich-quick schemes.
No shortcuts.
No shortcuts, but he believes that with the right knowledge, mindset, and strategies, anyone can build passive income and achieve financial freedom.
It strikes me that a lot of Kiyosaki's teachings are about shifting your perspective on money.
It's a mindset shift.
It's not just about numbers and transactions.
Right.
It's about understanding the underlying systems.
The systems.
And principles.
Yeah. He wants you to see money as a tool that can be used to create the life you want.
Okay.
Rather than something that controls you.
And that brings us back to the importance of mindset.
Mindset is huge.
He believes that your mindset, your beliefs and attitudes about money, can either hold you back or propel you forward.
Your beliefs can shape your reality.
So it's not just about what you know.
No.
But also how you think about money.
Exactly.
He encourages people to overcome fear.
Overcome fear.
Embrace failure as a learning opportunity.
Yeah, failure is just a stepping stone.
Okay.
And cultivate a mindset of abundance.
It sounds like he wants people to develop a more positive and empowered relationship with money.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
What's the one key takeaway you hope our listeners walk away with?
I hope they come away feeling empowered and inspired to take control of their financial future.
Okay.
Kiyosaki's teachings offer a different perspective on money.
Yeah.
A perspective that challenges conventional wisdom and encourages people to think outside the box.
It's about understanding that you have more options than you might think.
More options.
When it comes to building wealth.
Yeah.
And achieving financial freedom.
You have the power.
It all starts with taking that first step towards financial literacy.
That first step.
Whether it's reading one of his books, taking a course, or even just having a conversation with someone who inspires you financially.
Talk to people.
Keep learning. Keep growing.
Keep growing.
And remember those unfair advantages as you navigate the exciting world of money.
That's right.
Until next time, happy investing.